If you've ever felt like you're holding yourself back, like you are your own worst enemy, even when you know exactly what it is that you want to achieve, you are not alone. No matter how much you want to succeed, it's like every time you get close, something stops you in your tracks. And I know it's frustrating because you set these big goals, knowing that you are capable, and yet you're still wondering, why can't I get out of my own way? That is self sabotage, a cycle that feels impossible to break. But today we're going to dive deep into how to stop self sabotaging yourself so that you can finally break through and reach the success that you deserve. And so by the end of this video, you will have all the tools to rewire your mindset and stop sabotaging the things that are absolutely meant to be yours. But before we get started, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any future content that's going to help you elevate on your personal growth journey. Let's jump right into it. What is self-sabotage? It is when we get in our own way, whether it's through procrastination, fear of failure, or perfectionism. We set all these goals and we work so hard, but then right when we're close to succeeding, we pull ourselves back. And I used to do this all the time. I remember wanting to launch a project, but I convinced myself that I wasn't ready, and then I let fear stop me. And I know that sounds familiar because it happens to so many of us on a daily basis. Self sabotage often comes from having low self worth or the fear of success. But the good news is that we can break this pattern. And here's the first step: you have to become aware of your thoughts. Sabotage doesn't just happen overnight. It starts with your mindset. When you're about to take an action, pay attention to what's going on in your head. Are you doubting yourself? Are you telling yourself you'll fail? When I started to realize that these thoughts in my own life, I was having those thoughts, I realized that I was holding myself back because of the fear. And so ask yourself, what is my fear? Am I afraid of failing? Or am I afraid of success? Am I afraid of what the success will demand of me? And once you are aware of your thoughts, it's time to shift your energy. It's time to put in that work because any negative energy, any negative thoughts you have attracts negative energy. And it's like being stuck in like quicksand. But what you focus on, what excites you, once you get your passion and you start focusing on that, it attracts more of that. And so for me, it was about shifting my focus on what could go wrong to imagining everything that could go right. And when I start to focus on the possibilities, it's like everything completely changed. Ask yourself, what makes you feel alive? What gets you excited? Channel all of that good energy into your goals, into your visions and your desires. Breaking free requires small, consistent action. So you don't have to overhaul your entire life in just one day. Start small, whether it's creating a morning routine that grounds you or setting daily goals. Celebrate small wins also. I think I used to feel like I had to accomplish everything at once. And then when I didn't, I sometimes would give up on those tasks. But here's what I've learned is that building momentum from small successes makes it so much easier to keep going. And then over time, those healthy habits start to reinforce that you can trust your own self to follow through on the things that you've set out to do. And another thing is that self-sabotage thrives in isolation. You absolutely need people in your life who support you and who believe in you. I had the hardest time cultivating relationships from past traumas in my life, but lately I've been so super intentional on building relationships with like-minded people, like people who are on similar journeys as me and who just gets me. And lately I found that when I'm struggling, I have those friends who will then call me out of my own limiting beliefs. And this helps to keep me accountable and reminds me of my worth. Find those people in your life, the ones who's going to lift you up when you can't do it for yourself. And then remember that you don't have to do this alone. One of the biggest causes of self-sabotage also is fear of failure. We think if we fail, it means that we are not good enough. But failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the process. And you may be thinking that every setback that you experience is a sign that you are meant to succeed, but that's simply not true. Every failure is a lesson. And so instead of thinking I failed, so I'm not good enough, start thinking I failed, so I've learned something valuable. And when you reframe failure in this way, it absolutely loses all and complete control of power over you. And when that sabotage comes from the inner voice in your head that's telling you that you're not good enough, here's a tip: talk back to that voice. When you catch yourself thinking, I'm going to fail, replace it with, I am capable of achieving this. It might feel awkward at first because it's new to you, but over time, this reprogramming will change how you see yourself. It's not about pretending that everything is perfect. It's about being kind to yourself when things are not perfect. And the more you do this, the more you'll start to believe in your ability to overcome any challenges or limitations that you've placed upon yourself. Speaking of challenges, perfectionism is a major form of self sabotage. We set these impossibly high standards for ourselves, and then when we don't meet them, we actually punish ourselves. And the thing is, nobody is perfect. I used to beat myself up over like the tiniest, smallest little mistake. But I realized that that was like a toxic mindset, and that self compassion is key. Understand that growth comes from mistakes, and instead of tearing yourself down, learn to build yourself up. Celebrate the progress, again, no matter how small it is, because it builds up on itself. And here's something that may actually surprise you: confidence does not come before action. So confidence in something doesn't come before action. It comes after. So the more you act, even in the small ways, the more confident you're going to become. And so don't wait for confidence before taking steps towards your goals. Instead, understand that confidence grows with every action you take. So take those small steps, even if you're afraid, when you're afraid, and know that each action is going to build you up and chip away at the self sabotage that's holding you back. Also, wisdom is gained through experience, both success and failure. So when you're wise, you know that setbacks are just part of the journey and not the end. Everything, won't always go according to plan, and that's okay. Wisdom helps you to see the bigger picture, and it stops you from getting caught up in the small setbacks that lead you to sabotage yourself. Think of every experience, whether good or bad, as a lesson that's actually shaping you and your growth on this journey. And then also, again, take a moment to reflect on your surroundings. Are the people around you encouraging your growth, or are they feeding into the self doubt that you're telling yourself? You may have to let people go. People who keep you is stuck in a self sabotaging mindset, let them go, because your environment matters way more than you think. Surround yourself with people who believe in you and push you to be your best self. If your environment doesn't inspire you, then it's time to make a change, and it's time to get into an environment that will. And I know all of this may seem like an impossible cycle to break, but with the right mindset, habits, and support, you can stop the rat race of sabotaging yourself, okay? The next step is totally up to you. And so, right now, I just want you to write down one area of your life where you've been sabotaging. Then, write down one small action that you can take this week to move past it. And you will absolutely be amazed at the momentum that builds from just this one step. You are so much more closer to overcoming than you realize. Now that you have the tools to stop sabotaging yourself, it's time for you to take action. But if this video resonated with you, please make sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that you never miss any content on personal growth, mindset, because I am here on this journey with you. Share your thoughts and your comments below, and let's break free from self sabotage together and move forward, because success is meant for both you and I. Keep the faith.